Oh, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good, good.
Welcome and thank you for giving us this opportunity to get to know your story. Thank you for
Awesome.
taking the time to tell me your story and doing this live interview with me. Everyone has a story. Thank you for sharing yours. Answer the questions the way you feel and interpret them. It is your story. There is no wrong or right answers. This is all
Mm-hmm.
about you.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to pull this up on my laptop so that I can read the comments later. Get started. Thank you so much. I've been so excited about this.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to it too, so that's good.
Okay. So our first set of questions is early life questions. This is about your childhood and early life.
All right.
These are questions about your upbringing, family background, and childhood experiences.
All right.
What do you remember from when you were little?
I'm sorry. Can you say it one more time?
What do you remember from when you were little?
Like the earliest memory?
Just whatever comes to your mind that you can think of when you were little.
Well, I guess I'll share because I was just telling my husband the other day that I must have been stayed in the crib longer than an average child. Because I remember my little brother is like 3.5 years younger than me, but I
Uh huh.
remember the two cribs like set up side by side, and obviously I was big enough, like jumping back and forth, and he was big enough to be able to do the same thing. So I think they kept me in a crib till I was like 5 years old or something.
You
It
were
was
big
just
enough
like a
probably
memory
to
that
have.
popped in the other day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fun.
yeah.
What was your family like when you were growing up?
Um, I had I'll preface this with I had a good childhood. I had a good upbringing. But everybody has like things, so like there was a lot of probably like no trauma, things that people like kids shouldn't see and be around. I experienced a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who did you look up to when you were young?
Um. Actually, my sister Sue, she took care of me a lot, and I moved my finger because she just came over yesterday to spend a few days with me. So she was the caretaker. She was the oldest of the siblings of the girls, and she was the caretaker.
How
So
many were there?
um, my mother had 9 children, 8 living, and my father had 4 before he married my mother, and then my mother remarried, and um, my early teens I was raised with a stepbrother because all my other
Oh, wow.
brothers and sisters were old enough; they were out of the home.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So are you the youngest?
I'm the youngest
No, you
girl.
have
Yeah, I
youngest
have a,
girl.
I have a younger brother, but when my parents separated, he went and lived with my dad. I stayed with my mom. Yeah.
Did your family have any unique traditions?
I don't know if they're unique, but we do. Our parents have all passed now, and but I think we still a lot of us hold on to like we're big on having the big meal at Thanksgiving and at Christmas time. Even if we're as siblings not are together, we've passed that on to our children, and it's a big deal. We make sure we all get together if we can and be together. I mean, it's like my mother always put on a huge spread. Even if there's 4 or 5 of us, we're putting on a huge spread.
That's
We're making
great.
food for days.
I like that.
Yeah.
How did you get along with your family?
I think pretty good. We all, growing up, we all had a very close bond. As you get adults, sometimes things change a little bit, and some we go back and forth. Sometimes we're a little bit closer to one than the other at different stages in our lives. But I feel like we've all carried on. If something happened to one of us, we're all going to pull there and do our best to be there for each other. I believe. Yeah.
That's wonderful. What's your favorite memory from when you were young?
Ooh, that one's had my favorite memory.
Meeting your husband, of course.
My husband said meeting him. Did you hear him? Hi, Spongy. Hi, Janet. Bunch of people came in. Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming in. Hi, Misty. My favorite memory from when I was younger. I don't know. I don't think I have one. I don't know. I don't think so. No. I mean, I don't. Like I said, with the holidays and stuff, that was always a good memory because we always were all together. And my mother, even with all those kids, my mother always made sure we had like big Christmases. It might have been. It was never expensive stuff, but we always had like a bunch of little things to open up. We had stockings. It was always fun. Like it wasn't. She did her best that she could to give all them kids a good time. And she made it a big deal. It wasn't like, oh, it's Christmas. She made it with the lights and decorating and all that. She made it always a fun time for us.
Can you think of something funny or embarrassing that happened to you?
Um, I I think the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to me is there's a waterfall in near where we live. They call it Doan's Falls or Root Beer River, and we'd all go there as young teenagers, and jump off the falls and things like that. And one time I was just crossing over, and I slipped, and
I told you don't put your foot in that water, and you did.
right, he wasn't my husband at the time, but he told me don't put your foot in the water, and I put my foot and I slid. But as
Oh,
I'm going down the waterfall, he grabbed me. But my
Saved your life.
but my bathing suit, my bottoms of my bikini were coming down, so I pulled away from him so I could pull him back because I wasn't going down with nothing on. Yeah. So that was probably the most embarrassing thing. And then of course he had to grab on harder so I didn't go down the falls. And he saved me. I was fine. But yeah,
that's a good story.
yeah,
Good story.
yeah. So it was quite embarrassing, because
Yeah.
there's probably like 50, 75 people up there. I'm not going down with no bottoms on.
They're not getting a free show.
Yes, exactly.
So,
Exactly.
what traditions do you enjoy?
Um, well, right now, I think my biggest one is Christmas. That's I definitely got that passed on from my mother, and that's what we're doing now today. We're taking out the bins. I go a little overboard. I probably got 14. I probably got about 14 or 15 bins. Christmas is going to be in every single room, and even now, like we live in a smaller place. We usually go to my daughter's house for Christmas, so no one really even comes here. But I enjoy looking at it. I am going. There'll be two Christmas trees. There will be Christmas on in every room, and every inch of my house will be Christmas. So, and I
That's
and I keep on doing it because it just makes me happy to look at it. I enjoy it. It makes me happy.
makes you feel cozy.
Yes, exactly.
I love that.
My sister-in-law or a few different people will come in and be like, "Oh, Christmas threw up in here," because I come in because I do it early, way earlier than most people. And when they come in, they're all like, I'm like, you can't. You go in the bathroom, you're gonna see Christmas. It's there.
It's everywhere.
Yeah,
Our
yeah,
next set of questions is about your career path, highlighting significant milestones, achievements, and challenges that you have
yep,
faced.
yeah.
Can you share a favorite school memory?
Nope, I can't.
Okay.
I One of the things through my childhood, I never I really never finished a grade anywhere. We moved, so I would go to school sometimes two or three different times in the same grade, in a different school district, or at the switch schools, And I was always very good at school, but once I became a teenager, and that stuff, I just kind of it was I wasn't very much interested in it anymore. It was stressful for me from going school to school to school to school.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would be.
yeah.
So you say you moved from school to school. Did you move from different states or just the same area and just moved districts?
It it all depended. Like a couple of times in my life, yes, we did move to different states. Most of the time, it was in the same area, but it'd be like another little town. Like we'd go. If you don't know the names, I'm gonna say because you guys are not from Massachusetts, but we'd go like from Gardner to Athol to Baldwinville to Winchendon. So it'd be, and sometimes I'd be back at the same school the next year, but I would already have gone to two schools and that the year before, and that went on a lot through my whole entire life. We were constantly moving, moving, moving.
We
Yeah,
moved a lot too.
yeah.
What was your
So,
first job and what did you learn from it?
um, it was Whalen, or did I go to Capitol first? Whalen Park. It was a amusement park. Yeah,
Wow.
me and my husband both worked there. He worked the rides. I was thinking of the Ferris. What was the Ferris wheel? Yeah, he did the Ferris wheel, and I worked in the concession stands. So we did that one summer. That was my first job. Yeah, and that was it was fun. It was just like, we were young kids. We just basically went to work. We wanted to party. We wanted to have some money to
Yeah.
have to parties. So that's what we did.
What
Yeah.
did you learn from that?
Um. Well, I think that especially at that young age, I did learn that hey, if I'm going to go to work, I'm going to get a paycheck, and it's mine. It's not nobody else's. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
How did
definitely.
you pick your job?
Um. I think one of our friends got a job there, so we just it was it's closed down now, but it was like a Six Flags or something kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
one of our friends got a job there. They're like, "Oh yeah, just come in, we'll get you a job." And yeah,
So it was
I
just
was
kind of convenient to
yeah,
work there. Yeah.
exactly. I think my Ed was probably like 15. I was only like 13. So of course, you're changing the date in your birth year, but back then they didn't care. They didn't really, you know. So I was in there.
So
I did ice cream, and then I was flipping burgers like at 13 years old. But we'd get our hours, and then we were able to do what we wanted to do on our free time.
it sounds like a fun job too.
Yeah, and no, it was because you're there, and uh, after your shift, you could go run around the park and go on the rides, and all that was free. Get yourself a
That's great.
burger, an ice cream, whatever.
This next question, it could be about that job or any other job that you've
Hmm.
had. Um, what was the best and most challenging part of a job?
Um, Back then, I don't think I ever really thought about that at all. And any job that I've had, I've never had like a career or nothing like that. It was always just jobs when I needed to work, and most of the time it was like in places that were like I waitressed a lot, so that was always to me it was even fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking to the customers. I enjoyed getting up and going to work. A few things like that. So it was never anything that was like brain work or anything like that. So
How did
I
you
basically stayed home and raised my kids.
Yeah, that's the best job.
Yep, yep.
How did you balance work and a personal life?
Um, well, I'll go back to say because I keep even at the younger things saying with my husband. I've been with my husband since we were kids. We had our first child at I got pregnant at 15 and had her at 16. Um,
Oh,
yeah, so those like probably until she was like 3 or 4 years old. I didn't go to work. I raised her. He went to work. So it just like in the way I was kind of like raised. It just that's what happened. Life happened. You're just gonna go and do and live life. So it wasn't
yeah,
like it was never really a balance. I chose like when my friends. Not that I never went out, but most for the most part, I chose. I had this baby and I'm going to stay home with her. Like people would go out on the weekends. I just stayed home because that was I chose,
Priority.
I chose to have her and that's my priority, you know?
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I think, you know, used to people would just do what had to be done and you put what was important first
Yeah.
and that's how you balanced it. Now
Yeah.
it's kind of a
Exactly.
what feels good kind of attitude and I don't like it.
Exactly. I didn't want, I had the mentality like I didn't want anybody to be critical or saying things about, oh, she's so young and now she's dropping off the baby, she's doing this. And, whether those were real perceptions or real things people would have said, that was in my mind. And I never wanted that to be, I never wanted my kids to hear that from somebody else. It never happened. Like I said, not that I never went out and never, but I chose, no, I wasn't going to drop her off every weekend at the babysitters or my mother's or my sister, whatever, and do the things that most 16-year-old kids were doing. I chose not to. Yeah.
I can relate to that. I was
Hmm.
16 when I had my first,
Yeah.
and even though that was young, that was the best thing that ever happened to me because I was going down an
Yeah.
ugly path. But once
Exactly.
I was pregnant, I straightened up and
Hmm.
I was determined to do better than what I had seen.
Absolutely. And that's the same thing that I believe I did and accomplished so that they never saw the things that I saw, and I think about it a lot. Me and my husband both. A lot of the people that we hung out with, they're now either they're dead, they're not even alive,
Yeah.
because they chose to do, and if maybe I wouldn't have got pregnant, we might have went down that same path too, because those are the people that like we thought they were our friends. We hung out with them, and they're not even living anymore.
I hadn't thought about that, but that's kind of the same scenario.
Yeah,
Most people that I grew up with that are my age have died.
they're dead.
And I never really thought about that, but
Yeah,
yeah, that's true.
it's very true.
What have you learned from past? It could be work relationships or just dealing with people relationships.
um well, I say this a lot when I do the come learn the Bible with me, is that the biggest thing I personally had to learn in life is that not everybody has the same mentality as me, or um, what's the word I'm looking for? I forgot the. Huh?
Addiction.
Okay. Well, it's like maybe I'll explain it, and the word will come to me. Is that I can't expect people to do the same things that I would do for them or for anybody,
Mm,
because people they're not capable of it, or
yeah.
they don't have that same desires in life, like things that I would do, um say, like my I'll use neighbor. I'll use a neighbor, like, say if I went away for a few days, or they went away for a few days and they asked me to watch their house and uh feed their cats or dog or whatever they have, and I saw that the floor needed to be swept, or the dishes they maybe left a couple dishes. I would do that, and not, but I can't have the same expectation on another human being, that just
They would
because
do the same for
that they
you.
would do the same for me. And once I've
Yeah.
learned that in life, I've had better relationships because I don't have that expectation. I don't put expectation on people anymore. That's what I'm trying to say,
That
because
is
I
the
did
best
that for a long
advice.
time.
Yeah. That is really good because I'm learning that too as I get older. You know, like you said, if I seen something that needed to be done, I just do it without someone
Right.
asking. I just do it and
Yes.
not think anything about it. But and then you kind of
Other.
start to feel yeah because they don't return it. But really,
Yes.
that's not fair because we shouldn't expect them to do
Right.
the same. We're supposed to do unto others as we would have them do unto us, not
Yes.
what they would do. So that is
Exactly.
so good, Missy. That was so good.
Yes.
I liked that answer.
Yeah.
Our next set of questions are related to personal development, including moments of self discovery, overcoming obstacles, and evolving.
Mm-hmm.
What has been your proudest accomplishment so far?
Um, I my feelings, my greatest accomplishment is that I was able to. I raised three children. They were able to go to the same school system
Mm,
their whole life. My youngest, we did move, but it wasn't like, and
yeah,
all three of those kids graduated, and they're living their lives, and they're good people. That's how
mhm,
I feel. I really feel that's the greatest thing. God gave me those kids as a gift, and I did my job. I did what He asked me to do.
good.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Now, see, I told you that make me cry about
Yeah,
funny.
I know. I'm over here trying not to melt my lashes off.
you know, yeah.
How do you handle tough times?
Um. Well, I gotta say, we've gone through. Me and my husband have gone through great highs, great lows, and really, I am 100%. I rely on my faith. I rely on God. That doesn't matter what we're going through, that He's going to see us through. You
Yeah,
know, we've never not had a roof over our head. We've never gone hungry. And the other stuff doesn't matter, you know,
right.
like we might be struggling here and there, but everybody goes through different seasons in your life. And I've learned to be content in whatever season that I'm in. Because, like I said, we've had great highs, but we've had really low lows, you know.
Yeah.
So and by
I feel like,
relying on God, I know because what His Word tells me is to be content in any situation, and I've learned to be able to do that, and I'm grateful that I've learned to be able to do that. So
yeah, that's good.
yeah,
Yeah, he's faithful even when we're not.
Eh,
There's been
I-
so many times in my life that I wasn't living the way I felt that I should be
yep,
living, but he was faithful.
He was faithful. He's never going to leave you.
Yeah.
Even when we
I
mess
think,
up, He's not. He's not.
yeah,
Even if you forget to pray or forget to talk, whatever it is, He's still right
yeah.
there. He's like, okay, I forgive you. Come on back.
He's a friend to the end because you could
Yeah.
lose contact with friends and call them and they're not always there, but it doesn't matter how long it's been since you talked to
Yes.
him. You can call on him and he's right there.
And He's right there.
I mean, we
Absolutely.
should talk to him every day, but we
Yep.
don't.
Yep.
Sometimes we don't.
Sometimes
Sometimes
you
we
just
do.
life happens and you don't think of it. Sometimes I even lay down at night and think, gee, did I even pray today? Did I even, it
Yeah.
happens. It's just life. Life happens. You get up and sometimes you're not able to get up and like a lot of people, I'll see people say, you get up and have your cup of coffee and read the Word of God. Sometimes you get up and it's an emergency right away.
Yes.
You know, whether it's
We
a child,
oversleep and
an animal, there's something you just get up and like boom out the door, and you know,
uh,
it's just that
cats are
what
meowing, dogs are barking, kids are crying.
exactly life is life. It
Yep,
happens.
that's true. And sometimes we're too hard on ourselves, and sometimes, uh, you know, the way we've been brought up in some religions, I know from my experience,
Hmm.
you were made to feel you weren't good enough, like you had to do this, 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 and this, or you weren't going to go to heaven. And
Right.
I grew since then, and I realized that's just not. Jesus would have died in vain if we had to be perfect. What would be the point of him having to do that? I mean, we should strive to do better, but we're never going to be perfect.
We're never going to be perfect, and the whole thing is that Jesus came because He knew that like the Jewish people, they couldn't follow the rules, the laws that were put in place. He took
Uh-huh.
those laws and said, "No, I'm gonna bear it for you."
Yeah,
He knows that we can't do it.
we
So
can't.
when religions or churches put that on a person, like you have to do this and that, and you can't wear this, and
Yep.
all those things,
There.
Jesus, that is not what Jesus is about. He got rid of all that. He knows we can't. He's our intercessor. He goes when we mess up. He goes and pleads before God and says, "Look at, they're sorry. Let's
Yeah.
forgive them. It's okay." That's what He died for. And when they start doing the same thing that they did to the Jewish people, giving them all the laws, you can't eat this, you can't drink this, you have to, you know, pray so many times. All the laws that are written in the beginning of the Bible, Jesus
Mhm.
came to get rid of them, and He doesn't want new laws put upon us. He doesn't want that. He just
Yeah.
wants us. He wants our
Pretty
pure
good
heart
one.
and us to do the best that we can for Him.
Well,
So
could you imagine if we had to go out and kill a goat every time we sinned?
exactly, imagine that. I couldn't do it. I'd feel bad.
We could get enough to read the Bible every day. I mean,
you know.
right. So, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Um, yeah, that one's hard. To my younger self, I would have been more.
Aware of Jesus.
Yeah, well, yeah. One, aware of Jesus. Two is I wish I had the knowledge to understand not to be so rebellious towards my parents. That I had the knowledge to know that they were doing the best that they could, and that's all they could do. And I didn't. You know, as I got older and had my children, I realized that they could only give what they were given. They didn't have anything else to give. They could only give what they knew.
Gosh, that's good.
Mhm, mhm.
Woo.
And I just wish I knew it when I was younger, so I wouldn't have been so rebellious or
Resentful and all those things.
resentful.
Because
Hmm.
now, then, by the time you realize it, you're older and having to work through that, and
Yeah,
yeah, that's a
yeah,
good
yeah.
answer. What are some cool things you've done or seen in your life?
Um, cool or what do you say?
Yeah, something cool, something different that you've seen or done in your life that
Um, let's see. I don't know. I mean, I've lived a pretty full life. We've no we've never really like traveled really like a lot, but we've done I don't know. I can't even think of anything like cool like cool we did.
No,
well, you have a YouTube channel, that's pretty cool.
We no like we like especially when my kids were little. Like I definitely
we went to Universal for a week.
oh my husband said we went to Universal Studios for a week. That was
That's
cool.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah, so like when the kids were little, we did a whole lot more. We're
Yeah.
trying as they've been out of the house now. That our youngest's been out of the house now for about 4 or 5 years. So we're
Mhm.
trying to it's a difficult transition. So we're trying to do things that we can learn to be able to do things together because it's even though we've been together for a long time, it's still kind of like a separate life. He had his work and I had the kids in their school and doing all those things. But now we're trying to learn to do things to like kind of have the same. Even if it's one thing, like if he wants to do something, I don't really want to do it. We're trying to do our best. Be like, okay, I'll go try that. You know.
Oh,
So
yeah. That's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Can you think of a time when you were content and pleased?
Like I just said, I try to live my life almost every single day that way. It doesn't matter. And I'm not perfect about it. Sometimes I don't. Your brain's like, oh, I can't take this. This is enough. But I truly try to live every single day, whatever situation that I'm given for that day. I try my best to just be, this is what I'm given today, and I've got to do. I'm just
Mhm.
content with it. I'm fine. No matter where we're like, not right now. We're living in Massachusetts. I really didn't want to come back up here. I wanted to stay down south. But I gotta say, I tell God all the time, God, I really want to be back in the South, but you have me here for whatever purpose, and I'm gonna be okay with it. So it's not like every day I'm not saying, oh, I don't want to be here. Because if you go into that whole thing, like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to be here, then your life is just miserable all the time.
Mhm.
And I don't want to live miserable.
Yeah. Have you ever been scared or worried? And how did you get through it?
Oh, absolutely. My oldest son, I would go in the emergency room and they knew my first name where we lived. So they knew us. So I've had a lot of situations where I definitely was scared. I didn't know what was going to happen, if he was going to be okay. And So absolutely. And I have I don't like to confess the things that I have, but I do have anxiety and uh like seasonal depression. But I have to literally I've 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 gone like to counseling and stuff like that. But I really have to focus a lot of times and get myself out of that because sometimes it will take over, you know.
Yeah.
I have a lot of my most of my anxiety will come out in the vehicle because I think I shared the other day on someone's live or whatever that my I ran over my foot. So when we're in the car, I'm always scared like the brakes are gonna go, you know.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
I cause my husband a lot of anxiety when I'm in the car, and I don't drive much anymore. I was just telling my sister, said, yeah, I just had to drive my sister-in-law's vehicle back to our house because we had to buy another vehicle. And when I first got in, I was literally like shaking. My legs were shaking, thinking, how am I going to? First of all, it's not even our vehicle, it's somebody else's. How am I going to
Yeah.
get this, two towns over? But I did it. But I really I had to focus and really, I'm like, Jesus, 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 But there's everything, different things work for other people, but I have to really like sit down and really focus on something else to get myself out of that panic or that anxiety. So, but there's definitely things that I've been scared of, with having a child that's accident prone, you know. So
Yes.
it is what it is.
What's something surprising about you that we wouldn't expect?
Um, geez, surprising about me. Um, I can't think of anything.
It's not surprising. It's you're the best person I know, and I'm your sister.
Thank you. My sister said it's not surprising, but I'm the best person she knows, and she's my sister.
Oh, that's sweet.
No, but I do. Well, I think probably the
You don't think it, but I do.
right. The most surprise, I will say the most surprising, because my husband's probably thinking of it in the other room, is that I do, and I really, it's taken me, it happens sometimes, not as much as it does, but, and I say it's my Indian blood that I go from okay to seeing red or black like quickly in seconds. And I can flip fast.
You
And
can flip a
there's
switch.
yes. And it's taken me, and I'm not saying it doesn't happen all the time. It's less and less now that I'm older. But
Mhm.
yes, I my temper can go quick, and I'm really kind of a quiet person. I don't really talk a whole lot, and but once like because I take things, I listen, and I take things in, and then it just I can see red, and I have no. It's almost like a blackout thing where you just you know. So
I can
that's
relate
surprising.
to that.
That's probably surprising about me.
Yeah, it is. But I can relate to that. I can,
Yeah.
and like if someone comes at me, I can get over it. But if you come at one of my kids, I black out. I'm on my
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I don't
yeah.
mean to, and I feel bad after it
I
happens,
do
but
too. And I have to do damage control.
yeah, yeah. What my husband would, yeah, 0 to a life sentence. That's what he just wrote. That's funny.
Oh. Um, is there a okay? These next questions reflect your interest, hobbies, and areas of expertise. Is
Hmm.
there a song, movie, or book that you love?
Yes, I love comedy. So my favorite movie is Multiplicity. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's so funny. It's hilarious. I have probably about 5 or 6 copies of it. I'll watch
Uh-huh.
it. I don't care. I'll put it on. I love that movie. That's my favorite movie. Um, but yeah, I like what I watch. I like British shows, like British comedy, and a lot of people don't get that. Multiplicity is
I
not a
do.
British one, but I love
You
it.
know the one with the blonde chick and that
Hmm.
what's that comedy? They're roommates and they have the daughter and they don't take care of her and they smoke cigarettes.
Yes.
What's it called? Is it Fabulous or something like
I
that?
think something like that. Yes, I like that one too. Like,
I
um,
love that show.
my
I haven't
daughter
seen
just
it
put
yet.
a BritBox on my TV, and
Uh-huh.
so I just get to watch the old one. She did it because that show, Are You Being Served? Is that
Mhm.
one? No, it's the one with is it Are You Being? But anyways, the lady just passed away. I can't remember her name. And my daughter called me and she said, "Mom, she just passed away." She says, "I'm gonna give you my code to get on BritBox." She said, "Because they're gonna play." She's only been in two things, but it was years and years of two things of British comedy, and so you can watch them, watch the other ones, and but my daughter just remembered from being a little girl that's what they would watch when I was watching the British comedy. So yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, and a lot of people don't get it. Some of it's pretty dry, and they don't get it, but I love it.
I have a weird sense of humor about stuff like that. I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I like stupid funny.
yeah. I like stupid funny. Yeah.
What are some of your favorite hobbies or activities?
Um, I go back and forth with different things. Like I have the type of personality, I guess. Like I get addicted to doing something for a little while, and then I don't do it again for a few years. So, um, winter time's coming. So usually in the winter time, I do enjoy doing like puzzles because you're in the house. It's like you don't want to sit in front of the TV the whole time, and like especially up here in New England, it's bad roads, bad weather, whatever. So I love to just put a puzzle out and you know. But then I have that kind of like an addictive personality. Like I can't just like most people put a puzzle and leisurely do it here and there. I start the puzzle and I'll be up to 3 o'clock in the morning. I want to finish the puzzle.
You're obsessed with it. Yeah.
Yes.
Bigfoot said yard selling.
Oh,
Is that
yard
someone
sailing.
you know?
Yeah, that's Ed. Yes, I'd love to
Yeah.
go yard sailing. Down
Yeah.
south, they say sailing. They don't say, my my cousin Mabel, the first one, because when we first moved down there, we were at the flea market selling stuff. She calls me. She's, "Are you guys going sailing today?" I'm like, "We don't got a boat." She's, "No, no, down the flea market because they're down south in
Yeah.
that area where we're living." They're like, "Yeah, you're sailing." No, we're selling
Yeah.
stuff. We're not sailing anywhere. But yeah, no, I enjoy going yard sailing. I go like flea markets, yard sailing. I love to go to the thrift shops, even if I don't buy anything. I just like to see what's there and
Yeah.
go out and do that. What we really enjoy. We both really enjoy that. So, and we really enjoy like I make fun of him. My husband's a collector, hoarder, but especially on like after the weekends, like when people are done having the yard sale because they put all that stuff out for free. Go
Yeah.
there and see what they've left. It's
Yeah.
better getting the stuff for free than having to pay for it.
Yes, it sure is. Um, are you part of any clubs or groups related to any of your hobbies?
Nope, nope.
What are your passions and why do they matter to you?
um well, I'm a big first and foremost, like my biggest passion, and it seems like I don't mean to be like repetitive, but it's taken me so many years to realize that I cannot do anything without Christ, and
Yeah.
I'm so firm, and I don't. It's not like I want to push my religion on anybody. Just I know I've felt it, and I know for a fact that you just can't do anything without him. And
Mhm.
so I'm big on that. And my biggest passion, and it's always been this way, is just to feed the people around me. Even, and I don't like to say it a lot either, but like even like the community I live in, that's what me and Ed do. There's so many elderly people here that are living on Social Security. They hardly making it. If I can, Ed can, I make it, but Ed brings it down. If I can bring them a meal or two a week, and that just makes them happy. Feeding people makes me happy. Always
Yeah.
has. I love to feed people and to be able to share that. And I don't need nothing in return. I don't even need a thank you, but just knowing that they didn't go hungry or had to suffer, a little bit less that week because we were able to bring them some groceries or be able to feed them a couple meals. And it's not like it's something we just started doing. We've been doing it for years. We've been doing it for a lot of years wherever we've been. God has opened that door that I've been able to do that. And I,
That's
and I'm
wonderful.
great and I'm grateful for that.
Mhm.
So
So it sounds like you have a calling on your life to feed people. That's
yes,
good.
Yeah.
this I know. That's definitely, and it's always been that way. Like they used to. Not so much, but like when my dad was living, or when um we first started doing it, Ed would be, I'd say because I'd cook so much. 'Cause I'm like, well, you never know, someone might stop by. You got to feed them, like who's gonna really? But sometimes people do, like especially when my kids were younger,
Uh-huh.
they might come in with two or three friends, and
Mhm.
those kids went home. Maybe they wouldn't have got a good meal that night, things
Yeah,
like that.
that's
And
true.
I still do it. It's me and Ed. I cook big, but we're able to pack it up afterwards and um, give it to like I said, some people around here, and we got some specific people that we do, and they're grateful to receive it. So yes, God has called me to feed people, and he's always, and I've said it before in my life, it doesn't even matter. Like right now that we're probably in one of the worst, not the, I don't want to use the word worst, but economically we're not in a great position because we've both just gone through a lot of surgeries. And but God makes sure that my food, I just showed my cupboards. I showed my freezers a couple months ago. I have an abundance of all the time, because the more I give, the more the Lord makes sure it comes back into my house, so that I'm able to do the meals and do the things that I do.
That
100%.
reminds me of a story. There's a guy, which he's passed on now, but he's called our local Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
Every year, he would go around and give out gifts. They still do that. His son, I think, carries on the tradition. But not only at Christmas time during the year, he would every week take ice creams and some other things, some other kind of food and stuff up to the nursing homes and
Yeah.
visit with the elderly. And he told a story or a testimony really in church about how one day it was the time to do that and he didn't have the money to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord told him to go to the store and get it. And he's like,
Yeah.
I ain't got no money. But so he went to the store and he loaded up the buggy. And I mean, he was up to the checkout and he was like,
Yeah.
Lord, I'm going to go up here to this checkout and I don't have any money. And I mean, it was his turn in line. And the
Mm-hmm.
guy in front of him said, I'm going to get yours too.
Praise
So
God. Yeah.
made it all the way to the checkout, and
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, if you're obedient, listen to that. A lot of people don't, and not all the time it's God. You got to pay attention, because the voices might be something else. But if you're just
yeah,
obedient, He makes sure. He, like when I first moved here. Okay, so I'm basically from Massachusetts, but I moved down south for a while, for a few years. And when we first came back up here, now when we were down in North Carolina, we would do like bags. We just go in the dollar store and we'd make sure, throw in things they could have, and water, and um, socks, raincoat, whatever, we'd throw in the bag. And my husband would drop them off in different areas. He knew where a lot of homeless people were or whatnot. But when I came here, I had said to the Lord, I said, I don't know, I just don't know what you want me to be doing. I don't understand. I'm here now and I don't know what to be doing. And even we were doing that, but I also had a big following on TikTok, over 5,000 people. And when I got here,
wow.
I'm like, I don't even got nothing to do here, Lord, with the TikTok, because it's not pretty. It's ugly here. There's no beautiful sunrises or sunsets or nothing. Um, but that's what I heard. I don't remember. I think it was from Evolution Church, Stephen Furtnick. I like to watch him. But
I
anyways,
like him.
he said, if you don't know what God wants you to do what you were doing before you questioned what He did. And it's just like, within a couple of weeks, like my husband had met the one gentleman that we help out. My husband just met him. He was broke down at the gas station. I've been feeding the guy for 2 years now. He's a 90-year-old man. But that's
Oh.
what, that's what I thought of. I said, okay, I'm going to do, that's what I know what to do, is to feed people. And
Yeah.
that's what God wants me to do.
Yeah.
And he makes sure that I can.
Do you mind sharing what state you're in now?
I live in Massachusetts. Yeah.
Still? Okay. So
Yeah.
you're in
Yeah.
Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, these questions are about friendships, romantic partnerships, and any other meaningful connections you've had.
Hmm.
What is your experience with love?
Well, I've been, like I said, I met my husband I probably met him when I was like 12 years old, 13 years old, you know, and even like, I tell my sisters, oh, I love him. They're like, no, no, you don't, you don't. But we've been together almost 40 years.
Well,
Our daughter is 30. What'd she say yesterday? 38, 37. My daughter's 37 years old, so we've been together almost 40 years. And
I
I
can
just love
barely
him.
hear you for some reason. Can you all hear her? Or is it my phone or is it might be my phone?
Okay. So yeah, I've been in love with my husband since the day that I met him. When we've been together almost 40 years. I just yeah.
That's
Could
so
be the
sweet.
He's in there listening. Could be the stubbornness in me that said, "Oh no." Everybody says this ain't gonna be for the rest of your life. I show you it will be. I love you,
So
Allie.
everybody
I'm
says they
just
can hear
joking.
you, so it must be my phone. Let me see if I've got my
Yeah.
volume. Okay. I can hear you. It just went low all of a sudden. How have your friendships changed over time?
Well, I gotta say that I've I've always, because I think it's because I've moved a lot as a child and as in my teenage years. I really do have a hard time maintaining friendships. It's just easier if I don't go, like, if somebody wants to go um not put the effort in, it doesn't bother me. I'm not going to let it bother me. I let them go. Oh, we just lost Shannon altogether, guys. Can Shannon hear us? Oh,
Sorry. I'm
that's
trying to
okay.
fix it. Oh, there's the volume. Yes.
All right.
I could hear you, but it was so low having to get like this.
Oh, sorry.
It's not you, it
Yeah,
was
I
my
don't.
phone.
Yeah, and I think so. Like, I never really formed. Plus, I had my sisters, and I've said this probably all through my whole entire life, is that we had such a big family unit. It never really bothered me to not form rela- relationships, outside relationships, with
Yeah.
girlfriends, and we moved a lot, so it never really bothered me. And my sisters were like my best friends, so it wasn't like, and even, we all had children all around the same time, and I put all my energy into those relationships. I really never put them into, because when I, like, a couple of the girls when we were younger had children around the same time that I had my daughter, same age. Their
Mhm.
choices were different than mine, and so there was always that whether they thought I was being judgmental or critical of them, I just chose to do things differently than them, and I didn't want to be around them no more. I didn't want to
Mhm.
hang out with them. I wanted to be the best parent that I could be to my child.
Mhm.
So I've never really had a whole lot of long-term friendships. I really have not. But and even the choice that I make to serve the Lord, he tells you that the same thing in the Bible, because a lot of people will pull away once they feel that um it's their feeling, it's not a feeling that I give. But when people are doing things that they know they shouldn't be doing, they
Mhm.
pull away from somebody that is trying to live a good life, because they
Yeah.
feel they're being judged, or they feel this, or they feel that. But that's on them. I'm not giving that off to them, because I don't care what another human being does. If you're my friend, I love you, and I don't care what you do. That's your business. I don't
Yeah.
care if you want to start drinking beer at 9 o'clock in the morning. No, just kidding.
Now my dad did it. From the time he got up till the time he went to bed.
it don't bother me, But no, I've never really, of course, Ed's my best friend, and that's always been. But I've never. I think one of the reasons is because we moved so much. I never was able to form relationships with people like a lot of people have the same high school friendships, or I've known this
Yeah,
girl since kindergarten. I've never seen nobody since kindergarten. I don't know, So yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, who makes you laugh the most?
Um. So there's two people. Well, no, there's a lot of people, but my little brother probably. I mean, he can make me spit out food like milk come out your nose kind of laugh. But he's always been my little brother is hilarious.
Yeah.
My son has a best friend um, that I can't even you. I mean, we love to be around him, but you're going to probably pee your pants if you're around him more than 10 minutes. He just doesn't. He's so quick with the wit. You can't even. You just. I don't know how many times I'm like, you've got to stop. I'm gonna. It hurts. It hurts. Stop. Stop. But out of those two, I'd say my little brother and my son's best friend. They're hilarious. Yeah.
Well, we are on our last set of questions, but before I read these, I would like to tell everybody if you're okay with it, if
Hmm.
anyone has any questions they would like to ask either of us, me or Missy, be thinking of it. And when we finish these questions, we'll read it in the comments and go back over the comments that we've missed because I'm not really good at multitasking. If I read the comments, I'll forget where I'm at on the questions. So
Yep. The squirrel comes in.
yeah, I got squirrel brain bad.
Yep.
So once we finish these, we'll go back and read the comments. And if y'all have any questions or anything you'd like to say, we'll go over that. So this set of questions, I'm so tongue tied. These questions conclude the interview by asking about your future aspirations, goals, and dreams. What are you looking forward to in the future?
In the future, like I said, we're here right now, but our goal is to be able to go back down south. That's where I want to be. My youngest son is still down there. My grandbaby's down there, and it's just a better fit and lifestyle for us than it is up here. Um, that's one of our main goals that we really want to be able to go.
I don't want that to happen.
My sister's like, I don't want that to happen, but I really, I that's where my heart is. That's where I really want to be. And
Mhm.
some of it is because my grandbaby's down there, and I don't want her to grow up and not have a relationship with me because I don't see
Yeah.
it. And that I only have the one, and my other children probably am not going to have children. So I just got the one little grandbaby. So I want to make sure she knows who I am. I want
Yeah.
to be a part of her
But
life.
I can't come with you. I have 10 grandbabies and two great grandbabies.
My sister's like, I can't go with you. She got too many. She's got too many up here. But yeah, so that's
You have to grab them all and y'all go find somewhere to live with them.
exactly. So now
Grab
that's
all
what
the babies.
right. And if it doesn't happen, it is what it is. It's okay. If if I'm supposed to stay here, I'll stay here. But that's what I pray about it a lot. I'm like, Lord, either let me go back down there, or let my daughter-in-law say, okay, I am not stuck
Coming
on the
again.
south. I will
I'm
go up
coming
north.
Yeah.
One
There
of
you
the
go.
other. My son would come in. My son would come today, but my daughter-in-law don't want to. So,
Mhm. What does happiness and success mean to you?
um, happiness is very important to me, and like I said earlier, I don't think of success in um, money terms at all. I feel like the things that I've been given in life from God, that was my biggest thing in life. He let me have those children and raise those children, and I did my job. So I know when I get up there, it's going to be well done, for that part of it at least.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't look at success in a money term ever. I never have. I don't. I've never lived my life that way. Either, like I said, we've had great abundance and we've not. So that part of it, I don't look. But the successes of my life, I get happy and I get pleased when I see my children, even now. Like my daughter and my son-in-law, they travel a lot. They've been, to Scotland. They've been to different places, the Bahamas, and I get joy from that because I know, like, that if because I did my job right, that she's,
Yeah.
she's doing what she wants to do, and um, one of the greatest things to me, like, I talked about the kids, finishing high school, but my daughter went on to college, and she graduated a 4-year college. She married I couldn't ask for a better son-in-law, because you don't want your kids to be in bad relationships at all. And I've been blessed so much with that. So when I just look at those things, that's to me that's success. Like that's important. And
Hmm.
they're doing good. And anytime they go and do anything and call me, I am so happy and pleased for them, because I might not have had the opportunity to do those things, but that's okay. They're doing it. And I get excited for them and happy for them that they're able to do those things. And
Yeah.
it really it makes it, and I'm not just saying that, it really truly makes me happy. Like when she said they were going to go over to Scotland. I was like, like, because can you imagine, like, oh yeah, we're booking a trip to Scotland, right? And go over there for
Yeah.
12 to 14 days. So those things bring me joy that they're able to, and they have the desire to. There's so many ways their life, because even though, they've still, even though I try to protect them as much as I could, they still seen things and had, maybe family members around them that weren't so great, and but they got themselves to another different level, not that they're any better than anybody else, but their desire to not live that way and to better themselves all the time makes me happy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How do you want to be remembered, and what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind when you're dead and gone? That's terrible, isn't it, the way I said
I know.
that?
I know.
Yeah.
I you know, well, I guess I can answer that. My biggest thing is that I want to be known as somebody that my husband's. I can hear my husband
Right,
laughing,
laughing right now.
laughing in the bedroom
I
as
could
you
have
were
worded
saying
that a little better.
that.
I'm sorry.
No, but I want people to truly that know me know that the things that I say is not just to say them. That I really truly live my life that way. That I'm not just saying them, to look any different, to look any better at all. And I was just sharing this with my sister this morning. I was talking about somebody else, I don't, but how they were telling me that they're not allowed to share God or Jesus with their grandkids, and they watch their grandkids. And I had said to them, I'm like, that would be the day, and even though my children might not be serving the
Mhm.
Lord in the manner that I would like right now, I know that they're what the word says, that if I bring them up correctly, they will not depart
They
from
will
the
return
Lord.
back to it.
So I
Yep.
stand on that. But I'm thinking, there's no way, I don't care which one of them it is, that they're going to tell
Mhm.
me what I can say to my grandchild, right? Absolutely
I'd
not.
be playing Veggie Tales 24/7.
Exactly. And that's what I was telling my sister. I'd put stuff on the TV. You're going to tell me what I can listen to on my radio when I got your kids? I don't think so.
Right.
But, anyways,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's the biggest thing. And I think that's why I want so much to go down to North Carolina. And I do talk to her probably weekly, FaceTime. Praise God, we live in that area where she knows who I am, like, because we FaceTime all the time. But I do that. So that's what I want to be known for. I want her to know that, Grammy's the one that taught me about Jesus. I want her, to have all that experience. And she does
Yeah.
have it a little bit, not as much as I'd like. But that's what I want to know for, when I do go there, that's what they know, that mom or Grammy or whatever, or sister or um, aunt, that that I truly, when I say I'm praying for you, that I've really done that. I've,
Mhm.
you know, I may not be on my knees because I tell you I'm not doing that right now, but I, I have prayed for you. When I say that I prayed for you, I did that, and I'm interceding all the time for those my loved ones that are not saved. You know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And those prayers will carry on even after you're gone, because I know my grandmother's has for
Absolutely. You know.
sure. 'Cause
Yeah.
I've seen her prayers come. Oh, you'd hear her. Someone would call on the phone. I don't know if I can say this without losing it.
Yeah.
She would go straight when she got off the phone. She would go straight to her room, and you would hear her in there calling out
Yeah.
to God and
Yeah.
speaking the prettiest tongues you ever
Yeah.
heard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she would go immediately,
Yeah.
and oh,
Yeah.
that's something else. Okay, let's not get.
It's hard
But
when
thank
you.
you for sharing your story with me.
No,
And
thank you for having me.
would you like to tell us about your channel?
Yes. So I have for those of you that don't know me, but I think everybody that's on does. But
I think so. But
but
maybe someone who watches it later on may,
yeah, yes, definitely. Yep. So it's Missy cooking on a budget, and I truly the meals that I make are never really expensive. They're good, nutritious. Not all of them are nutritious. They're good tummy filling meals, you know, things that I grew up with, things that my husband grew up, and we still eat that way because that's what we were taught, that's what we like, that's what we grew up eating, you know. Um, and it's all economical. It's not anything that's going to put anybody over the edge too much, you know. And they're good hearty meals. So,
Mhm.
and then that's one of the reasons why I started the channel, because then I'm watching people. No, no, but it's okay if, you know, someone likes lobster. But people can't eat like that all the time, you know,
Yeah.
and can't afford to. Most people cannot afford to, you know, and you do not have to live off beans and cheese. I see so many so many videos. They're like, oh, just have beans. Man, you don't have to live just because you're a little poor right now in the pocketbook. You don't have to live off beans and cheese.
I like a good spam macaroni peas casserole sometimes.
Yeah,
I've
you
made
know.
that before.
Yep. You know, I mean, I some things I show on here. I mean, I make some concoction sometimes, but that's what I feel like eating. It tastes good to
Yep,
me. You know,
that works.
it
Listen,
works.
you can if you've got flour and a little bit of oil, you can about make
Yep.
anything.
Yep. Yep. So and but yeah, so that's my channel, and on Wednesdays I do live. Come learn the Word of God with me is what I call it, because I don't want to say I'm teaching anybody the word of God, because God is all constantly showing me and teaching me. So I
Mhm.
want it to be something that we're learning together, because I want people to give me feedback, and maybe there's something I don't know or something I missed. So it's not me doing a Bible study. It's us learning together what the word
Yeah.
of God really means and what it says. So that's what my channel is about, and I do throw other things in there. I have food hauls. um I all the time say, you know, God bless those that can have 4 or 5 channels. I cannot. I can have one channel, and sometimes I throw my cats up, sometimes I do food hauls, sometimes I cook, sometimes I read the Bible. It's all on one
Yeah.
channel.
Yeah. I can't figure out how to do more than one. I was going to do a separate one for this, the tell me your stories, but I ain't figured it out yet. So I'm just going
Yeah,
to wait.
you have to have you have to have another whole email. It's all kinds of stuff
Um,
involved, and
that's a lot.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
I know. Just call Misty, because she'll tell you what she got for
Yeah.
now.
I don't know
Three,
how she
four.
does it.
Yeah, and Spongy. I don't know. I don't. And there's so many people that do it. I cannot. One
Yeah.
channel's good. Hmm.
They're good at it.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
when after this processes, I'll put the link in the description to your channel. Um, it takes it however
Yeah.
long to process, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
always forget to do that. But looks like we have there's some questions on here. I'm going to go over these comments and then see if there was any more questions. Hello, have fun in nature. Hello, that boy Trey 28. Hello, Janet Dyer. I hope I'm saying your name right, Janet. I always wonder if I'm saying your name right. Hello, Spongy Goldie. Hello, Down to Misty Style. Hello, Grandma Teresa.
Oh,
Hello, Bigfoot 3750. I think that's your husband, isn't it?
yep, yep.
Does he do a channel or is he just for support?
I think he might have one or two things on his. He always says he's going to do more on his, but he does not. I don't think so.
Oh,
Are you on it anymore, Ed? Because he said something the other day. He's like, "Yeah, I subscribe to all these people, and they don't come to my channel and subscribe." I'm like, "I don't think you got anything on your channel."
get some on there. That's what I told Bass. I said, you better get some stuff on there even though you're not ready yet because he
Yeah,
started a channel
yeah, I
in
know. I went and
Castillo
subscribed to
Town.
him.
Let's see. Um, Somebody said, I think this was back when we were saying the stories. This is Cold as Death Gaming 9938. I do. In the third grade, I decided to try the monkey bars and fell on my back, and it took all the wind out of me. Fun times. Ooh, that don't sound too fun.
Oh, I think he said mentally.
I just was talking about you. What you? I'm sorry. My husband was. He's in the way in the back of the house with the door shut, calling. I don't know what he's saying.
Okay, so Down Home Misty Style says,
Yeah.
is there a significant life event that formed your relationship with God?
Yes. I when I was younger, my parents both were saved for a little while. That we had a church um lifestyle, family lifestyle. So I was at a young age. It was introduced to me. Well, I got to take that back. Even before my mother uh was saved, my mother was even whatever stage of life she was in. Jesus was taught to us. God was taught to us at home. You know, you're
Mhm.
not going to disrespect the Lord. You know, like all those things were instilled in us as children, whether my mother was going to church or not.
Yeah.
Um, but then in my 20s, there was a situation that happened. It's not my story to tell, it's Ed's testimony, not mine. Um, but I was at a point in my life where I just needed to, I knew I needed something more than what I had at that time. And I gave
Mhm.
my life to the Lord again as in my early 20s. And yeah, but it was a major situation in our lives. And um, like I said, that's uh, Ed's testimony to tell, not mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long have you and Ed been together and married?
Okay, so I hate when people ask that. 'Cause I forget. So this year, we pretty sure that we've been married. We've been married 30 years next month, and
Oh,
so that makes us being together like 30, almost 40, 39 years, something like that. Yeah,
wow.
yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
So you all have fit through some battles to be together that
Absolutely.
long.
Yes, yes.
Do you have a bucket list? And if so, what is on it?
Yeah. I don't. I don't really. Huh?
You want to go?
Well, I mean, that's not really a bucket list thing. I mean, it's a heart desire, but people, like when I get to a certain age, want to like jump out of a plane or all that. No, I don't
Or
really.
she also said right after that, one thing you really want to do. So she might have meant that. Like, is there one
Right.
thing that you really want to do?
Yeah, I've never, my whole entire life, I've never really been that type of person where I really don't think about if something comes forward and I'm able to do something, but I've just never been that. Maybe I'm just boring, but I've just never been that type of person. Like I don't care. I don't care to do much of anything.
I'm the same way.
Like I
I
have
don't
no
want to do
heart desires.
anything.
Like go out. Like some people like, oh, they want to, they want to skydive or they want to climb a mountain or they have goals. I don't, and I really never have. And I'm being honest. I just
Yeah. I think that's why I have so many parties at home because I don't want to leave my house. And if I can just bring everybody here, we're
yeah,
good.
yeah.
I,
I'm content. I'm content with staying home. I'm a homebody person. I'm content with just being home and going about my daily day in my own house. I
Me
don't.
too.
It's
Actually,
never
I
really
take that
bothered me.
back. There's one thing that I haven't done that I really want to do, and I've done a lot of crazy stuff, but
Yeah.
I've never went whitewater rafting, and I really want to do that.
Oh, okay.
That
See,
is one.
a few summers ago, I don't know how long ago, was my kids, my husband, a lot of my husband's side of the family were at like a family reunion thing. They all
Mhm.
went down and did that. I did not go. I stayed and I sat in the sun, went in the pool a little bit. I just chilled. It wasn't for me.
Yeah.
They all went down on, some of them were on rafts, some were on boats, you know, and yeah, they had
I'm
the big Kool-Aid jug full of juice. and I was fine just sitting there. I didn't care if I was by myself while everybody went. I
right.
chose not to go.
But if we go on vacation, I just want to stay in the hotel and not leave the room. I'm fine with that.
Well, I'm almost fine with that because if there is a pool or something, I will go down to the pool, you know. But
Hmm.
most of the time, I don't. We just stayed a week at the hotel when I went down because the baby had surgery, and I was
Yeah.
fine just hanging out at the Me and her would walk the hallway a little bit. We'd go down, like, you get the free coffee 24 hours a day. Go down, get a cup of coffee, walk back down to the room.
Yeah.
I was fine with that.
At Down Home, Misty Style said, "Could you see yourself reaching out to those in need in your home, like a group gathering on the word?" It said, "Nobody's coming over." LOL.
Now,
You got to answer that question.
back back in the day, it wasn't at my home, but it was at my mother's home. We used to do because they call it now like church cell groups. We
Hmm.
we used to do one over at my when my mother was living. We used to go over there once a week and have a cell group thing over there. I've done it. We turned out down North Carolina. Me and Ed both went to a pastor's house. He would have a Bible study kind of meeting thing on his homes. I like it better in someone's home than I do it in a big church. I find
I do.
it's more intimate and it's more you learn more,
Yeah.
you know. And so yeah. Um being up here in Massachusetts, I'm not saying all people, but the people that I run into, it's really hard. It's There's a lot of people that are um just really dead set about they've had bad experiences and they don't want to get past it. And I run into that a lot up here, but that's all right. I keep doing what I got to do.
Yeah.
So I don't think I have any neighbors that want to come over anyways and have Bible study. They'll come over and visit me for a minute, but they're not staying for Bible study.
Well, is there anything else you want to say before we end this?
No, I'm just so glad that you had me on. And I appreciate that. And yeah, one of the reasons I want to come on too, because it's when you're on your own channel, it's kind of hard to you don't want to like say stuff, but I do want to be more open and people understand why maybe I
Mhm.
say or do the things that I do, you know.
Yeah.
And it's when you're doing an interview like this that makes it a little bit easier for people to understand your personality more than that camera in your face while you're trying to cook, you know. So, and I
Yeah,
appreciate
I
that.
get that. It's a lot easier to talk to someone else and be more open and to kind of be talking to yourself, being
Yeah,
open,
exactly.
and you feel more freedom when you're on someone else's because you know I don't.
Ex-
Yeah, that's true.
exactly. You just don't want to start spouting stuff out while you're on your cooking channel. Some people do, and they're good at it. I am not, you know. So, you know.
Well, thank you so much for doing this interview. I greatly appreciate it, and I have really enjoyed getting to know you better on a different level.
Thank you. I
I've
appreciate
been
that.
watching your videos for a long time, and I feel like we were friends, but we've never really talked like this.
Right.
So
We've not
this is
really
nice.
been able to have that connection. That's why I wanted to come on too, because
Yeah.
I do want to have like a deeper connection with, even though it's YouTube, you want to have
Mhm.
a deeper connection to the people that you kind of see every day and that you're watching that because you feel like you're kind of part of their, their
Uh-huh.
day.
Yeah.
And for people to know. And because I have a very I always forget like the word, but my personality is very just there. Like I mean what I say what I do, but it's always, and people sometimes don't, they take that as I'm being uppity or I'm being snobby, and it's not. It's just that
Yeah.
I'm just going to tell you the way it is. That's just how I am.
Yeah, it's just a matter of them getting to know your personality and how you
Exactly,
mean things. I always say if
exactly.
someone didn't know me and Aaron, they would think that we argued, but we never had an argument since we've been together. We play
Right.
fight, and they
Yes.
just don't know. We're smart alecks. We're really bad smart alecks
Right.
with each other. We try to censor it to other people because not everybody will take to that good, but we
Right.
take it good. And I think I said, God just made you for me because nobody else could stand me.
Exactly. The same thing with me and Ed, because I don't. Neither one of us will mean anything by it, but like if he says something, I think he's being a little smart ass or whatever. I
Uh-huh.
will mutter
Yeah,
underneath my breath. I'll be like, I will stab you with a knife.
that's
And like
it. Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not going to
that's
stab him
right.
with it. I'm not going to do that. But
Yeah,
it's just that, and we're not arguing. It's just that's how we talk to each other
yeah.
sometimes. We don't
My,
mean
my
that. We
little
don't mean nothing
Adeline,
by it.
my little Adeline's real sensitive, and she'll come out and be like, "Are you all arguing?" I'm like, "We've never argued, Adeline. This is how we play."
Yeah.
She gets confused,
Right. Right.
but
Yeah.
yeah. But tomorrow, before I forget, let's see, Misty, tell me, is our interview tomorrow at what time? 1? Is that right? I don't,
I thought
are you still on here?
I could be wrong. I don't know if she's still on, but I thought you guys said 2.
2? Let me check my calendar right quick. I don't want to say it wrong.
Right. And I don't know. I could be wrong too, because I just remember one day last week,
Yeah, let me
one of you
check.
guys were talking about it.
It's right here. So yes, it's at 1.
It's
Okay.
at 1.
Um,
Okay.
yes.
I'll
So
remember that.
tomorrow, we'll be live on Down Home. Are we changing it to 1:30, Misty? Because I thought it was 1. I've got it wrote down as 1. I need to change that. Okay, 1:30. Okay, so at Down Home, Misty and I will be live. She'll be interviewing me at 1:30 tomorrow. Yeah, I think that's right. I need to change it on my calendar because I've got it wrote down wrong,
Yes. No,
which is
she wrote one.
common.
She wrote down 1:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All righty. Well, I could sit and talk all day, but I know everybody. We've all got things
Exactly.
to
Yeah.
do. So if all hearts and minds are clear, we'll end it and say bye here.
Yep. Bye, everyone. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate that. And yeah, so I hope you all get to know me a little bit better through this. And I'll see you on the next video.
Bye, y'all. Thanks for
Bye.
watching. Don't forget to thumbs up. Thank you. Have fun in nature. Bye,
Bye,
y'all.
everyone.